Thanks for tuning in to the WingSpace podcast. This podcast is not a replacement for mental health treatment or professional health care. In case of crisis or emergency, please contact your local healthcare provider or dial 911.
Welcome to the WingSpace podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about family traditions, what they are, why we have them, and maybe why we don't have to have them. So stick around and take a listen.
Hey listeners, quick intermission with one of our providers at Hope and Healing, Kristen Wilson, LCSWC, who has started offering a new program at Hope and Healing for our couples called Prepare and Enrich. So Kristen, could you give us a little more information about that program?
Prepare and Enrich is a service that we'll be offering to premarital couples. It is a strength-based program that utilizes assessment portion and then subsequent sessions to look at that assessment and discuss what are your strengths, what are the areas of growth, what are conversations that you'd like to have as you are leading up to and preparing for marriage. One of the nice things about Prepare and Enrich is that it covers not only a wide variety of areas, but it can be utilized with couples that are in different stages of life as well. So maybe this is your first marriage. Maybe it is a blending of families that come into play when you are preparing for this. So the idea is that we can support you in that process and support you in having conversations with your partner and planning ahead for success.
And if someone is listening and is interested in seeking out this service for themselves and their partner, how could they go about inquiring or scheduling an appointment?
Contact us at Hope and Healing. You can go to the website and send us your information and we'll get back with you, or you can give us a call and we'll get you scheduled. There's more than one option when it comes to utilizing this program. This is a set group of sessions. So you will either be choosing to engage in 4 sessions or 8 sessions, depending on what your needs are, what your interests are, and what works for you. The assessment is part of both of those. The skill building, the recognizing our growth areas and working on those are included in both of those sets. So you will get that experience, but just the timing of it might look different depending on your needs.
Yes, so you can give us a call at 301-690-8404, extension 0. If you get the voicemail, make sure that you leave us one so that we can give you a call back within 24 hours. You can also visit our website, like Kristen mentioned, at hopehealingtherapy.com.
Welcome back to the WingSpace podcast, a place to take up space. I am looking forward to talking to you today about family traditions. And if you're listening to this in December when it's first launching, you probably have already had some fall, winter holiday traditions that have happened. So maybe this episode will help to enlighten some upcoming opportunities for family traditions, or maybe as you are closing out 2023 and looking at 2024, you might make some changes to the way the family traditions happen in your home. So what are family traditions? We probably all know what they are, and we probably all have some. But, the formal definition is that a family tradition is a pattern of behavior that reflects and reinforces family values, attitudes, and beliefs. A lot of times they're inherited, they're passed down. It's always happened this way, and so we have to do it this way. From a cultural perspective, those things are important, right? If it's a particular cultural behavior, a ritual that happens, then those things do get passed down, because if they don't get passed down, they get lost. My family is Native American, and we're from the Chickahominy tribe. Our tribe started speaking English and stopped speaking Algonquin, and the language is lost. There's words, there's a dictionary that you can find words, but it's lost because it wasn't carried on. And family traditions are very similar to that. Once it stops, it's something that gets lost. So from a cultural perspective, it can be sometimes very important to do those things to understand the culture and the history of the family. Sometimes they're religious and they are focusing around particular religious rituals or religious events, and are potentially dictated by the church or the denomination that you're a part of. And sometimes they're just family specific things that we do, not necessarily religious based or cultural based, but just family based. Many times, family traditions establish trust and create connection between and among family members. I want to give you a couple of ideas of family traditions that have been established in my family and that have changed over the course of time. So, when I was a child, the Christmas Eve tradition for my mom's side of the family was created probably 35 years ago. And it was an opportunity for us to be able to get together with my mom's family, her parents, her aunt, her brothers and sisters, and their children. And so we got together on Christmas Eve. My aunt hosted it. We had dinner. We went to church. We had dessert. We opened presents. It was a whole thing. And after my aunt passed away 12 years ago, I was kind of betrothed the opportunity to host that event. And up until last year, we had it on Christmas Eve, and it was pretty much always the same schedule. We would get together for dinner, we would then go to church, and then we would do dessert and presents. It stayed that way. And then we started to realize that maybe we need to do like gifts and dinner, then dessert. And during COVID, we didn't necessarily go to church. So we would kind of scatter during that church hour. And then for some reason, last year, I had it in my heart to change that tradition. And I said, why don't we do it the Saturday before Thanksgiving so that more people in our family may be able to come, because we have family that are further away in Virginia now and in North Carolina, South Carolina, maybe they would be able to come. And it was really interesting because we had people at that event that we maybe hadn't had in many years, and it was a very nice day. It started earlier in the day. We had some fun, like ugly sweater festivities. We played some games. We had dinner. We exchanged gifts, and it was just a really fun day. And, you know, I really believe that there was a reason why we changed it, because unfortunately, a week later, my father had passed away. And so our Christmas Eve celebration would have been very different anyway because of that circumstance. So we changed it last year, and now it is a thing. So this year, we're having the Saturday before the Christmas weekend, so the 16th, right? It'll be the new family tradition. And mid-year, early fall, I get cousins or aunts and uncles that say, hey, what's the date? When's the plan? What are we doing? So it's cool that it's a part of the tradition. Another thing that we do is mine and my husband's anniversary is November 27th. Many years ago, we said, hey, let's go away for the weekend or go away for our anniversary. Maybe we went Black Friday to Saturday or Saturday to Sunday, I don't remember. And we did 75% of our Christmas shopping. It was great, and it became a thing. 19 years later, our family knows, our kids, our parents, they know that that's what we do. Whether it's Friday to Saturday or Saturday to Sunday, it's a part of what we do. It's a great time for my husband and I to connect. We do Christmas shopping, we celebrate our anniversary, and it's a fun tradition that we have, and it's what we do. Sometimes those traditions begin to fade away. It would have been difficult to say, okay, we're not going to do Christmas Eve anymore because it's too difficult with everyone traveling, and we're just not going to do it, so I guess we won't get together for Christmas. But we enjoy it. It's a fun opportunity for us to get together and celebrate, so we changed it, right? It kind of morphed. It evolved into what it needed to be. And sometimes that happens. And there are some times that people do not appreciate the change. My hope is that it can happen in such a way that it becomes the new thing that can be celebrated and rejoiced. What happens with some families, though, or friend groups is that there's a tradition that happens that maybe more than half of the group dread. They don't want to do it. It's not fun. The dynamics are not good. It's a stress-provoking, anxiety-provoking event. Why do we force them? Do we force them because we have to do something or we should do something? Maybe we need to reconsider it as a get to. And if you're looking at a tradition, whether it's around the holidays or whether it's around a birthday or a certain season, if you're looking forward looking in the future to a family tradition and you dread it, that instant gut reaction of, ugh, maybe it's time that that tradition fades away and a new tradition is born, or maybe that tradition fades away. I remember when I was younger, there was a lot of messaging around, oh, family's family, you tolerate family, you deal with family, it's just, crazy uncle so-and-so, or it's just nosy aunt so-and-so, right? Well, there's a lot more focus on mental health now and relationships and stress and anxiety. And I might invite you to consider, if it's not serving you and it's causing that dread, why do we have to do it? Now, I realize there's going to be people that are listening that are going to say, because it's family and it's what you do. Well, maybe it's time for that particular tradition to change in a way that is less anxiety provoking, is less stressful, and more enjoyable for the majority. I would encourage you to consider, in this joyful season of Christmas and into the winter holidays, do what brings you joy. And if it doesn't bring you joy, consider why you're doing it, and consider if there's a way to do it differently. Consider if there's a way to make it more joyful. I think family traditions are a lot of fun. I think it's really cool to look back on pictures of the same event over years and years and have conversations and tell stories about those things. But again, if looking at those photographs and talking about those events don't bring you joy because the event itself is just yuck, maybe it's time for a rebirth. Maybe it's time for an evolution. It's time for a change. And I would invite you to consider that. I would love to hear what your family traditions are. I would love to hear the way that you guys celebrate the holidays, whatever, even if it's birthdays or not even around the Christmas holiday season. I would love to hear. So feel free to drop us a DM or shoot me an email, jennifer@hopehealingtherapy.com. And I look forward to many of our traditions that we have coming up this month, including that Christmas celebration that I told you about, and creating some new traditions along the way as well. So happy December, happy holidays, and I look forward to seeing and hearing about your family traditions. Have a great day.